Dorkheads, and everyone in between, and welcome to tonight's episode of Dungeons and Dorkheads!
Whoa.
Dead Silence Edition. No, there were a couple woos in there. It's not Dead Silence Edition. It's Intermittent Woo Edition.
Well, mine was
Hunter, look in the dungeon chat, because I just realized this.
Oh no, what did you just realize? What about the player list? Don't worry about it.
Okay.
That text is so small nobody can read it. Nobody go down there and read it. Because you need to listen to me talk about our awesome sponsor and longtime friend of the channel, Green Man Gaming. You can head over there right now. They got fantastic deals on video games all year round. As I'm looking at this, 73% off of Fallout 76. Brings the whole price down to just under $11. Everybody gives Fallout 76 a lot of hate, but give it till the end of the year and people will be weird for not liking that game. I guarantee it. I need to do a big ol' rant on that game about how people are still hating it, despite the fact that it's awesome. They got other great deals over there too. Go check those out.
Just let people have different opinions.
Well, their opinions are wrong, but okay. But you know what is the correct opinion? Foundry Virtual Tabletop is the greatest virtual tabletop for all of your virtual tabletop needs. You can connect up to 9,000 people to one tabletop and play Dungeons and Dragons. You can play Pathfinder. You can play Monopoly if you want. If you can find the boards and assets for all that stuff, yeah, do whatever you want.
anything is possible.
Anything is possible. The only limit is your imagination.
Oh my gosh.
We also have ForgottenAdventures.net for some fantastic stamps. Looking down here, for example, we got the Grim Reaper, we got a Kobold, we got a Plesiosaur, we got Mr. Death Knight, a dinosaur, and an alligator who is trying to eat Nicholas. They have more than that. In fact, you've seen their little stamp tokens all over this show. Great stuff. Very great stuff. Very, very good work that they do. They're constantly releasing new stuff, and we keep buying it, so you'll see all of it here. Their link is down below as well. You may have noticed a new link down there, actually. We finally got a new sponsor, one that I've been working on for a long time. We are finally sponsored by XSplit, ladies and gentlemen. XSplit is a fantastic program for streaming or video recording. In fact, we're using it right now. We are using it to record this very episode. We use it for everything. The gaming channel uses it for pretty much every single video. Even Matt's Mind is now recorded through XSplit.
Dear God.
Yeah, because it can record up to 1080p 60 frames per second, which is good because if you are uploading 4K videos on YouTube, you are a madman. My God. And if you're streaming in 4K, what the fuck? Give me your internet. Fantastic program. This can do everything that OBS does. Head down to the link below. Have a look at some of their annual plans. And yeah, go check those out because they're very, very good. And surprisingly, that is all of them now. That's everyone.
If you're streaming
that's all
in
of our
4K,
sponsors.
unnecessary.
That's all of our sponsors. Just some real quick thanks. I would like to just shoot another real quick thanks because it's been a while to Ryo Uku. Her link is down below. She does all the character art for this show. And also, it's an Alexander Nakarada for all of the music. We're pledging $10 to him on Patreon, so we get access to his entire music library, and we're allowed to monetize it, and fucking copyright is not an issue. And he puts out a lot of really good stuff, and we're thankful for that. There are a bunch of other people we should thank, but they're all in the credits, so, let's hand this off to Steve. I was gonna try to put an H in there, but I decided against it. Anyway, take it away.
All right, thank you once again for returning. I do thank all of your patronage and both viewers and players alike. The arc for this campaign is going to be kicking into high gear now, so hopefully at least. Kind of depends on the players. And, well, you shall see. I am greatly excited, and in the coming days you'll be seeing more maps from good old Incarnate. But for now, I think we could just look forward to the session.
Mm-hmm. Incarnate,
And we
not
will
sponsor.
continue to be your ungrateful children.
Incarnate, not
What?
sponsor, but we want them to be. So, 6:35, where we left off. The party, let me pull up the old war map here. The party was fighting Urkror, but it turns out Urkror's a pal. Medcon, they wanted to fight it out, so Urkror was like, yeah, we'll fight ya. So they did, and Medcon lost. And then they kind of just strolled right on through Chaldrill because Chaldrill didn't want to fight. And now they're here in Budverdo. So instead of fighting, the chieftain, who turned out to be the very tall and very fishy Dante, came in spouting about ancient evil. And then that ancient evil came knocking at the door, so we had to fight it. And we did fight it, and the ancient evil ran all the way back to Orzur. So we've been trying to plan for that just a little bit, and by a little bit, I mean a lot. We have a lot to do this session, but that was, in fact, complemented by two very, very good RP sessions. During the second one, our dwarf friend, Orvid, sadly left the party for various circumstances down in good old Granite Keep. We don't know if we will see our dwarf friend again, but who knows? Perhaps our paths will cross again at some point in the future. We can only hope. But for now, the party is left in Budverdo's, trying to figure out how to deal with Orzur. We were contemplating getting Kachel involved in this. That will likely be our next destination. I, for one, am looking forward to leaving town. And we left off as the party was turning in for the night. I believe we pick up the next day after our resident fawn did a little bit of snooping in the bathroom. And,
Rude.
you weren't awake. And, we cut
You're
to...
fucking rude! Doesn't change the fact that it's rude!
I rolled a fucking 25. You can't say anything.
It doesn't mean it's not rude. I can totally say something.
You see, folks, fawns are naturally curious creatures. But that's where we left off.
So, with that, morning does arrive, and a lot of you do wake up, and unless there was anything in specific that you would want to do prior, you do eventually receive calls to go have some breakfast.
The only thing I had said last time was that once I actually got up, there was a very loud, audible, wet slapping noise of me hitting the floor when I got out.
Could I hear this?
I'm pretty fucking big. Probably. It's just like, who dropped a big ass fucking fish on the floor? That was all.
As Sandra's walking out, did anyone hear a very loud fish slap?
What?
You
talking
didn't hear
about?
that.
Nope. Everything's normal. I don't know what you're talking about.
I mean, I guess there's the fish, man.
No.
Oh, so you're just gonna blame me on the... Okay, it was probably me.
Okay, you're still here.
Did you expect me to not be here?
No, I kind of expected it to be a weird fever dream. But anyway.
What?
Which,
Been here for a
sorry
while.
again about the trail of water I left out here.
That's fine. I'm sure that can be dealt with.
But still, it's extra work. I feel bad.
So, do you like, is sleeping in a bathtub, like, really bad for your back, or...
No, I wouldn't say so. I mean, most of the time I'm able to stretch out, but if I need to, be in, like, something that's a bit small for me, I just curl up like I'm back in the egg again. Quite nice.
Aw.
I wouldn't expect you to know. I know you guys do more live birth. Yeah, that's what I would assume. But curling up
Yes.
like you're in the egg is very nice. And my little mermaids.
It's common enough. It's called the fetal position for a reason. It may not be an egg, but like inside a worm thing. Beds
Oh,
are
yeah,
comfortable too.
Hell yeah, dude.
I wouldn't know, my legs bend all weird compared to yours.
I mean, that is true.
Actually, now I think about how do you use a bed, Sandra?
I don't think it'd be very different from how we use
Out
them.
of character, you
Probably
motherfucker!
just the food.
This shit keeps me up at night. I'm s-
Everyone's being kept up at night, thinking about how the others sleep.
No, I'm up at night thinking about how Sandra sleeps.
Sandra doesn't know how she sleeps.
Okay, back in character. I just sleep on my back.
I guess that works.
Yeah, because
I mean, you sleep on your side too.
Yeah.
Side sleeping is much better sleeping, much better for your body.
Yeah, but like, and I point to the two giant horns coming out the side of my head. How am I supposed to pull that off?
Called having a hole.
Yeah, just dig a hole in the bed, I guess.
It's more like you can have a space like 2 pillows on either side, and so it leaves just enough space to have the horn go through. And you're still just getting maximum co's from the pillows.
Oh, that works too. Yeah.
That's what the last fawn I met did.
And I get up from the table and I'm like, excuse me. And I go back to my room.
Do we even
Like,
have
I'm
a
not even checking
second
this shit out.
pillow? I
I'm
only
pretty
remember
sure.
there
I'm
being
pretty
one
sure
pillow
you
in
guys
the
can
bedroom.
afford more pillows.
True.
No, we're probably set for that. If we don't die from the impending disaster that is fighting off whatever the fuck.
We'll get as
Oh
many
yes, the
pillows
mind
as we want.
flayers.
About half a minute goes by, and then just from the back room, it's like, oh, Goddess Cassandra, this is a great idea.
I told you that's what the last fawn did.
Why didn't I ever think of this?
Wait, you knew another fawn?
Yeah, I've met fawns before.
They're not exactly uncommon-ish,
Guess
probably.
True.
I travel a lot.
We're
I
not the
came
most.
I came all the way from the ocean.
We're not the
Like,
most
there's-
uncommon race out there.
There's like cat. No.
That's how sheltered I really was.
We
There's no
passed a
Carrot
few hamlets
Fox.
on the way here.
Like we've met people. I don't think fawns are that out of, you know.
Plus, I've traveled quite a lot.
Plus, Buff Shark Dude, I think a fawn is available there and therefore as a potential severity.
Well, I mean, when you get further south, like in the Elflands, they become less common. But around the mountainous or the plains regions around here, you know, they're around.
I thought they're near Albania at least.
No,
But I'll explain why I haven't seen many of you.
not really around the Elflands. I'm kind of the exception.
Bleh. So what's on the docket aside from painfully eat breakfast?
Well, I gotta sort out my scouting regiment and a few ghillie cloaks.
And we're gonna need to get moving if we're gonna get to the next place we need to go to.
That too. We need to,
Because I don't think we can waste any time on this.
I was
we have to get to the
actually
Orcish
thinking...
capital, I believe, is where we're going.
Yes, and I was actually thinking last night, what if this brain sucker tries to pull a bit of subterfuge and try to get Coachelle on their side?
Unfortunately, always a possibility with these guys.
Now, there's always gonna be the possibility.
Yeah, we kind of need to move on this.
We gotta get them before they get them first.
Yeah, we're gonna want to get over to there, and I figure, you know, all wondering what we're gonna do when it comes to wizard ass tower. You know,
Just
we can
remember where
we
we
can
left
let we can go there ourselves if we want. Otherwise, we can just make people from the capital go do it if we don't want to put up with them, because they should listen to their own capital.
I could send a scout regiment.
As long as they don't take that as rude.
As all of you are chatting, the front doors to the Capitol Hall open, and you see once again Sellsword Sella walking forward. And she kind of makes her way across the room, casually talking. Hi, so, I was just wondering, since I'm now under your employ, if you had room for some more adventure.
Sure.
As a matter of fact, we have a new slot open.
Convenient.
Yeah, the dwarves left yesterday.
Sella spins on her heels, looks towards the door, and gives a slight whistle, and says, "Alright, you're good to come in." And in walks in, well, if you could explain what everyone sees as you enter?
What everyone sees is a very, very extravagant woman, decked out in a lot of pirate gear. You count at least 4 weapons visible on her person. A large coattails flowing behind her. Her hooves clop on the wooden ground as she walks in. Her horns are very, very long. It's clearly a very fluffy tiefling with huge silver square shoulder pads and a metallic arm on her left side.
Dante immediately sizes up what he's looking at and then just kind of grins and nods with approval.
What weapons do I see exactly?
You see a crossbow and what looks like weird little rods on wood. It looks like a broken crossbow.
Huh.
Could you say that?
Thank you.
Huh?
Hello!
Maybe,
She
alright.
screams.
Good day.
What?
Oh, hello! Don't you look interesting?
I get that a lot,
Hi.
Hey, trust me, so do I.
especially when I'm recognized.
What are you?
Me? I'm a pirate. She does a little pose.
Well, we kind of got that.
I could piece that together, but
Like, race and whatnot. What are you?
I mean, hell, you can shiver my timbers any day. Goddamn.
That's lewd.
they've been in the room 12
She
seconds.
steps around.
Sorry, dear. I can't help it.
You know what occurs to me? We haven't even checked the sellsword's blood today.
That's a question. There's a lot of food over here, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the table is laden with breakfast foods.
Cool.
There's
cool,
lots
cool,
and lots
cool.
of cake.
I assume there's a biscuit there?
Yeah, they're a plate of biscuits.
Cool. So, this new stranger lifts up her metallic arm. It clicks and clatters constantly. It's very loud and kind of annoying, although she seems satisfied with it. And then does a little flick of her wrist and fingers, and then one of the biscuits floats into the air and on over to her. She then
Oh.
grabs it with that same hand and then takes a bite.
What is that?
Dante chuckles
It's a
deeply
biscuit.
and just gives
No,
a couple
I mean,
hand
that's-
clap.
I think that's a prosthetic arm.
The
Is
arm.
that magic, or is that like...
Oh, it's an arm.
Is this one of those steam dweller things?
She rotates her hand without moving the rest of her arm completely all the way around.
Well, doesn't
Okay,
that
that's-
look augmented?
Is this one of those steam dweller things?
Nope, entirely custom.
Okay.
Made by yours truly, she takes a small bow.
I'm starting to think that those don't
Impressive.
actually exist.
Say, remind me to arm wrestle you sometime.
Ha! You wouldn't win.
Hey, doesn't mean we can't try anyway. I don't care about winning. I'm here for a good time.
I consider winning a good time. That's why I never lose, because I always love to have a good time.
Well, we'll see if we can change that.
No, but seriously,
One-
I need to
one-
see what your blood color is. Or like, compared to the samples we got earlier today.
My what?
We've had an incident with mind flayers recently. And
We've had an
kind of upped
infestation.
ours.
What does
And
that have to do with blood?
We need to check the color of your blood.
we need to make sure you're not suspicious.
Just a little finger prick. You'll be fine.
My blood's the same as it's always been.
Okay, but
We need
like,
to check that.
how
We're
can
going
you
to-
help
we're
us
going to
verify
investigate.
that?
Just
Yeah.
give yourself a little
Like
finger
honestly,
prick.
I would rather like find any other way to verify.
Okay, for
it than
simplicity's sake, Sella, you first. Just prick your finger very lightly.
She rolls her eyes and once again pulls out the dagger, gives herself a small cut, and same blood color. You know, this
Cool.
isn't the
Cool.
telltale sign that someone's going to betray you.
Do you know about mind flayers, ma'am?
Didn't you
I've
say-
heard stories of them, but what does
Okay.
Mind Flayer have to do with changing blood color?
Well, we
Blood
dissected one of
changes
their.
color, okay?
We have the closest thing to an expert with us right now. He said that's a thing. That's all I'm
Hold
going off
on,
of.
I'm
We-
checking.
We dissected a couple of its victims yesterday on that table.
Apparently, those
actually.
could have been something else, but still, that's nerve-wracking. It still was something that had been affected.
Okay. And so you're concerned that everyone's blood has changed color?
Only the
No.
one. Only the
We
people
don't
who
know
have
whose
parasites in their
has
head.
and hasn't.
I
That's
just
more
need
of a
some kind
concern.
of
Demare rolls her eyes at this
Verification.
squabble,
Probably better ways.
and then
of
unseats the
checking, I
large
don't know.
scimitar and slices her palm
Big.
open.
Why is it always
You
the
didn't-
palm?
you-
You could
you-
just done the
why don't
finger.
You literally
Just,
can just prick your finger, woman. What are you doing?
She points the bloody scimitar at the group.
Why is
You're
it-
paying for my healing,
Healing
And-
No,
word.
it's called be smarter.
and off the scimitar
Healing
and her
word.
hand drips down bright blue blood.
Oh gosh.
See? Normal blood color as always for me.
That's not normal.
Alright, I have other
Uh,
tests, but first off, like, you know
I-
blood's
She rubs her
normally
nose
red,
and
right?
sniffles a little bit.
I'm gonna assume this is a joke, because otherwise I don't know how to process it, but... Okay.
Do you think all blood is red?
I mean, so far that's been the case with these people.
Never been the case with me.
All right.
What
Then
races
what are
have you
you
been
then?
around?
Mostly
Apparently a
for
very, very
humans,
small number.
elves, and fawns.
I mean, if it makes it feel you any better, like
and I guess
blood
fishmen.
when underneath the water looks green. Once you're too far away from the sun, it starts to look green as we go further down in there.
We're not underwater.
I'm just saying, red blood even can look green if you're low enough and away from the sun.
But this is
Nick, what other
blue
tests
blood.
do we have?
Technically, your blood's not red until it leaves
Wait,
your
no,
body.
shit, we said pliability and
No, it's
suggestibility.
red in your body.
What is
Oh,
blue
yeah!
blood?
Oh yeah, I could do suggestibility, can't I? Okay.
What does blue
No,
blood
fuck
even
that.
look like underwater? It's just
It would
water.
still be it would still be blue.
It would be a darker blue. Than
It would
the
be
rest of
it would be
water, I'm pretty sure.
viscous and it would be darker.
Water is blue. It would just blend in.
Water isn't blue. Water is clear.
Well, how would I
Question.
know? I'm never around the ocean.
Is this a pillar?
Yes.
Yes.
Those are pillars.
All six
Cool.
of them are
Dumb-
pillars.
She,
That's
she
the
walks, strolls over
Stuntman's
here
pillar.
casually and leans against the side, fiddling around with her still bloodied scimitar.
Healing
Hmm.
word on Dammer.
What is it? Oh, okay.
Wow, 1 HP. I think you only took 1 HP.
Yeah.
If only I had more. If only we had
Yeah,
more knowledge on how to
healed.
tell when someone was something.
If only we
Yeah.
had more knowledge for someone to just, not cut their
So
entire
hey, they talked
hand
about
open.
mind flayers,
I
right?
guess.
Yes.
Yes.
What? Can I roll any kind of knowledge for that? Smarts?
You can roll Arcana.
My passive
Goddamn.
Arcana is 20.
Mhm.
Passive won't
Passive
help you
are-
here.
Anna?
Nice.
But
Mhm.
I will.
Yeah, hers is 20. Her passive arcana is 20. I don't know where the passive is going to help, but
13.
Okay, so you know of mind flayers, like you've been around the block and you've heard the stories, and the specifics of mind flayers you're not 100% certain. You've never met one yourself, but you know that usually these tentacle-faced bastards have a number of minions and do a number of experiments, and the changing of blood color, that's not the weirdest thing that you've heard. There are some magical infections that can change blood color, so it's not the you, at least I'll say, due to your high enough base understanding of Arcana, I'll say you at least know that there are so many things that exist in the world that just having a change of blood color certainly does not immediate link to Illithid.
Yeah, I've read a lot about this kind of stuff. Blood color is not the best test, especially when changing blood color is so obvious. And she lifts up her scimitar with a very expression.
well,
Okay,
I mean,
point
red is the
taken.
predominant blood color around here, so honestly, it's all we've had to go off of.
Okay,
Like, the
Personality.
only other thing I could think of is examining the person's brain. And that would involve, well,
yeah, I'm keeping this thing in
Yeah.
my cranium. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
I'm not
no,
that mad of
no.
a scientist.
no, I'm not that mad either. I would not do that.
Out of
That
character,
would be absurd.
out of character, the mere concept of brain surgery in this world is just like they can't even comprehend that.
Yeah, most likely. That too.
Demir has some ideas.
I'd taken a different location. Maybe I could have viewed through her skull, but yeah.
I could also check.
Well, if
just
nothing else, you're
something
showing off enough of a
through,
personality
but
that you don't seem like someone who's been mind wiped or whatever.
That too.
Oh, thank you very much. She says her kind of sarcastically.
Forgive me for
It's just
anxieties,
when we've
but
had literally humans walking here be monsters and whatnot.
they were orcs.
Hard.
But
Oh yeah, my bad.
thank you for
Wow,
thinking of
wow.
humans before elves again.
Sorry, Sorry.
It's fine.
I slipped for some reason.
That's alright. That's
I don't
alright.
even know why humans were on my mind, to be honest.
Well, I mean, if a human walks
I
in
will
here and they have
take
blue
that as a
blood, that's
compliment.
gonna set off a few alarms.
Yeah, but there could be multiple.
Anyway, what's your name, man?
I am the Dread Pirate Gearhead. I'm sure you've heard of me. She holds her arms out wide and confident.
Alright, have I heard of her?
Roll a history check.
Oh, okay.
Can I roll it with disadvantage?
Well, it's a...
Sure.
Zach does have a...
Sure, I'll roll a history
brain damage
check as
induced.
well. 7 for
I
the
know, right?
days. I think I jinxed it, knowing my luck, but
Wow, 2 3s.
never mind. That's pretty good.
This is not the day for me to remember stuff, I'm sorry.
Hmm.
So,
KL plus 3.
yeah, none of you have any idea. It seems like a generic enough adventuring name. So,
Are you like...
no. You're like,
Are you like-
maybe, but
Are you like a new pirate, or like from a different region?
Do I look
She
like
seems-
I've grown up around the ocean?
She looks very offended all of a sudden. Are you kidding me?
I've heard of pirates.
Okay,
I've never
look,
been out of the Elven
What are,
realm
okay, if you're a
once,
pirate or
so-
whatever and you're dreaded, what are you wanted for? Like,
Hang on.
okay, just in comparison. No, actually, never mind. It's not exactly known. Never
Her
mind. I can't
arm-
flex on that one.
Just kind of bends backwards. Her robotic one bends backwards and reaches into her backpack on her back, and then pulls out a wanted poster. And hang on a second, let me get y'all a picture of that because it's been wonderfully rendered
Oh
by.
my god, you drew one.
No, it was using the text chat.
Yeah, it was
This text system of the Foundry.
Give me one second. I have to open this up and then clip it.
Do you need me to pause, or...?
If you want.
No. Here's what it says on the front.
Wait, so you have to rip the poster off the wall to see what she's wanted for?
Yeah,
Yeah,
then you
this
put it
is
back
why.
and you
Yeah,
think it's
that's
not
how
worth
wanted
it.
posters work.
She shows you the front and reads on the back. I'm wanted for 10 counts of assault, 88 counts of theft, 6 fraud, 2 counts of driving a water vehicle while drunk, 87 counts of breaking and entering, 120 counts of solicitation, 200 counts of armed robbery and shoplifting, 150 counts of unabrogated assault on a paladin, and too much to list when it comes to lollygagging. On the front, it says that her wanted amount is 80,000 gold coin.
How many of those were while you were intoxicated?
Wait, 6 counts of fraud, not mail fraud, right?
1 or 2.
Oh no!
She looks at her arm smugly.
I mean, at least there's not genocide on the list, so I guess that's not exactly.
Yeah, but mail fraud?
Sound like most of you sound like they're either done while she was drunk or other things.
Yeah, I barely get drunk.
Oh. Huh.
Okay, I need to process this.
Take a moment. I'm good. This is a very robust resume for me.
Thank you very much. I'm very
I like
famous,
this
she insists.
So, on a rank of good to bad, how bad were these people? Other than the paladin.
She shakes her hand side to side.
Was it all the same paladin?
Oh.
But that, like, I'm not
It
sure
does
if there's
say
just this-
a paladin. It doesn't say multiple.
Like, I'm not sure if there's just this one paladin who you really, really hate, or just...
It just said aggravated, so must really, really hate this one specific paladin.
She smiles smugly.
Oh wait, hold on. Are you familiar with Steadfast?
Steadfast? Oh yeah, I've been there. It's chill now.
What? When?
All right,
Yeah,
give me
since I
give
drove
me
out
a
all
frame of reference.
Yeah, give
Yeah,
me
ever
a
since
frame
they
of
drove out all
reference.
those disgusting paladins. the place is
When
so
were
chill.
you there?
Like a while ago.
What's a while
Oh.
ago?
Well, apparently.
Steve, how long is a while ago?
Like last week.
Not last week.
And you say it's fine
How?
now?
Yeah, you say
Yeah.
it's fine. It's kind of burnt to the ground. How did
Well.
the buildings get fixed so
Is
fast?
there not like
It kind of exploded.
Yeah.
Zach kind of blew the whole place up accidentally.
the demon who took advantage of my situation to blew the whole place up?
You
I
were
was just a lever.
You were the catalyst of that situation.
I mean, technically,
You
you
caused
were the
all that? She
catalyst.
points at you.
Yes,
Damn! She struts up.
but I will never let you hold that in the court of law against me.
She leans over the table, pushing over a bunch of stuff, and holds out her mechanical hand. High five!
Oh, that was my cake.
Smack.
Oh, great. Another one that thinks the acts of terrorism are funny.
Can I
Suppose
can I
that
roll
was
to
a
see how
bad
good the
time
high
to
five
ma-
was?
I suppose that was a bad time to mention that he also blew up the Adventure Guild.
That wasn't
Oh,
him,
sick.
though.
That was not me. That was someone else.
Yeah, and you
Also,
know
clown.
who that someone else is. You have a dark secret.
How would I? I don't. Do you think I know every single clown?
Yes! You literally know everything.
No, I don't.
I
Okay,
mean,
actually, you know, I do,
technically you
but I
do.
don't. But I do, but I
That is
don't.
a very,
It's just in here.
very hard thing to
Wait, what's a
describe.
clown?
Honk.
He a clown. Points
They
at
a
Zach.
clown.
She vaults over the thing and then pushes Nicholas out of the way.
Oh,
She's like, what? What's a clown?
Honk.
How did you make that noise?
We
don't
Honk.
ask him that. He does not
She
know.
adjusts one of the magnifying glasses on her glasses
we've
and then
been
tries to get a closer look.
we've been trying to figure it out for several days now.
Sometimes
Magic.
the honk doesn't even come from him himself. Sometimes it's like 50 feet away.
I sometimes study him while he's sleeping. He still does it.
They.
Okay, sorry.
Magic. The answer is magic and worshipping the great honk mother.
It's a great
Maybe
honk
don't-
mother. She tilts her head.
I'll get you a
Uh,
pamphlet.
That's who
Later.
they believe in.
I'll get you a pamphlet about her later.
You know,
I haven't
like,
even had
I want a
breakfast.
pamphlet
Legend and
now.
whatnot.
Gimme. She leans closer, like uncomfortably closer to Zach.
Fuck. Give me a while to eat my breakfast first.
You're kind of a clingy one, aren't you?
Meanwhile,
She
Nicholas
walks
just
away and then
gets up
like
with a
sits
piece of
down
cake from the table.
and pushes her feet on the
left
table
of
to
the
make the
cake
chair kind of
anyways.
recline. It looks a bit rickety, like the setup that she currently has.
I've heard of sciencey types, but this is over the top even
How do I
for
turn
me.
off the grid?
No, that's on Steve's end.
What?
Because I noticed
Uh,
Zach was off the grid. Like a chat.
Oh, to move your player
Oh,
character off the
oh,
grid, if you
yeah.
like, you hold shift.
Oh,
You hold
holy
shift
shit.
while moving them. Then you can just place them
I
wherever.
honestly thought for some reason that she was talking about like how off grid is this village
No.
and whatnot.
No, I meant that out of character. I wanted to sit properly.
Holding shift? What? That doesn't work.
Yep.
You have to click then shift.
Oh yeah.
Oh, hey, it's the guy
Hey.
dudes.
Hmm?
Move the cursor, press shift, and then release the cursor.
I will wait for whenever we're gonna.
I gotta talk to my scout regiment. Dante.
Okay.
Yoo-hoo.
Dante?
Oh, not again.
Tired. Poor tired shark.
Seems to have fallen asleep again.
Do we pause?
Maybe, I guess.
Shit. So, as I was saying, I gotta talk to my scout regiment. Dante,
Yeah.
where are my scouts?
What do you mean? I just sent them back to wherever you usually put them.
Where I put them?
Yeah, where do you store your
Yeah.
scouts?
They have lives! They go home!
Exactly! I literally walked in and just sent them off to go wherever it was they needed to report to, and that's what they did.
Ah, God. Okay, fine. Okay, Nicholas,
What?
cast tongues on me.
Hungs.
Wow.
There. You go now.
Awesome. And I pick up my box of ghillie cloaks and I head out.
Hmm.
Sandra leaves. What does everyone else wish to do?
Dante continues to just stuff food in face.
Just after eating breakfast, I'm going to continue trying to learn Orcish.
Who should we send the Cassell, or how should we handle that even? I guess we have to, like, get our people together. I guess the scouts take care of that.
I would argue that both chieftains should be in Kachel.
I mean, that would be
Hmm.
our best standing, obviously.
Yeah.
The intent is to have all of us there.
Like, I know I'm not in the room, that's just my 2 cents.
Do you think we're ready to just head out to Cassell as it is? Or I suppose she's looking at her scouts
I mean,
right now.
we certainly don't want to wait either.
Maybe check on Sandra and whoever else around, I don't know, 10-ish after breakfast. Give her some time to figure out where her scouts are. In the meantime, I'll just clean up a bit more. Maybe look into if we have like some kind of brain restoration thing available.
I don't know. The brain is a complicated structure. I'm not sure we could do something about that.
I guess I'll just let it wear out. Bleh.
You just asking if they could perform brain surgery on you to fix your intelligence damage?
No. Imagine if they have like fucking some kind of restoration thing available. It's fine though.
Oh.
If I want to be dumb as shit, I'll be dumb as shit.
So,
Much as I actually have a spell. to
Fuck
get
it,
rid
warlock
of-
lessons it is. But before that,
I will mention if you're going to be doing warlock lessons, Gree is both part of warlock and scouts.
shit. Fine, we'll
You
just
can
like
have
3
Bree
and then
today.
go off. Okay. Before that,
Breeze
All
out,
right,
and
Miss-
Sandra's divorced parents.
Gree is a
Miss-
timeshare,
Oh.
so, like, we're
Alright.
time
Can't
sharing.
just call that stuff.
Mr. Mayor, you got any kind of like energizer drink in there somewhere? Something to help with, I guess. Never mind.
I mean, just look at the state of this.
But what do you bring to the
Dante
table?
just reaches a hand over and like gently taps on like the fucking giant like bags under his eyes.
Yeesh.
Their eyes. You are one tired individual.
The divining left me scarred and deformed. I am in pain, mentally at least. But yeah, Mr. Mayor,
Hello.
your head. What do you bring to the table exactly, aside from
I don't remember
a
telling you
laundry
that
load?
name.
That's fair enough. That's a misstep. Oop. Miss Gearhead, what do you bring to the table?
What do I bring to the table? 1 second. She pulls out a series of things, a bunch of wood, and a woodcarver's kit, bangs some things around, putting them together, and then out pops a head cannon. This.
Oh my god, you just
Gosh,
fucking...
just like the blueprints. I
Still
was gonna
talking
show
about
you
the
if you
span
knew
of
what a
6
hand
seconds.
cannon was. Oh crap.
Oh my god.
I had blueprints set up for trying to make one. Well,
Think fuck Sandra's out of the
that's
room.
out the-
So
that's
fucking
out
mad
the
Sandra's
window.
not in the room.
Think fuck she's not in the room with us right now.
So
She would
fucking mad now.
Scream.
I knew that she was gonna have a hand cannon, by the way. It's like,
You saw
oh,
the side
robot
thing, that
lady
just-
probably
So
has a
fucking
hand cannon.
pissed.
that brought the wind back to me.
Oh my god.
So like, does it work though, or
Nicholas,
like,
take notes.
Yeah, actually, does it work?
don't
Right now, what want to shoot at? Give me something to shoot at.
Want to bring this outside? This
Yeah, I was
place
gonna
is,
say, please not indoors as
maybe
much as
not
I
indoors,
love
yeah.
being
Take
distracted.
Yeah,
it to
let's-
the
let's
city
head out.
walls.
Let me just 1 second. Let it drop.
Take it to the city walls. Fire it out into nothing.
She pushes back on the chair that she was leaning on, falling to the ground and then rolling and standing up with a little hop. She's very loud and clattery as she rolls over.
Okay. All right, let's try this out on the front. See if there's something out there we could shoot at.
Lead the way.
She's
Wow.
gonna pass without a trace every time.
Actually,
we do
shit, you guys
so.
want to join on this? Just get a look at this.
Yeah, come on! I love it.
I mean, I have a
Take it
blueprint
over to the
of
archery
it,
grounds.
so
It is.
might as well see it in action.
I can't wait the fucking flex.
Dante just chuckles and just is like, obviously I want to see it.
Let's go. Just set it up just set it up in the fucking melee soldier zone so they don't see us yet.
So more or less, you're going to the same place Sandra's going.
Yes, but with the explicit instruction from Zach of like, let's just like get there from a way where they wouldn't notice us, but they'll see what we're firing.
I think I'll hear it.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's very much gonna hear it.
So, by the way, Gree does follow you out since you're wanting to do warlock training,
Yeah.
as well as Sella and your 2 guards, Torin and Rajal.
The whole
So-
squad.
Yeah, the whole squad's walking, and so do I have a wall map?
You do.
I
You don't know.
Actually, no, I do know. I've seen it.
No, you don't.
No, oh.
None of us can see it, but I've seen
You
it.
don't know. You don't know shit about shit.
You do not own any token with vision in the scene. Oh no.
Yeah,
I
no,
can't see.
I can't see. Everything's gone dark. Somebody turned off the sun.
We're in the void.
Excuse me, I have dark sight. Oh, well, it's not darkness. It's blinding fucking light, asshole.
Suddenly,
No?
Sandra appeared.
Oh no.
Try your eyes against
Suddenly
this
Nicholas
shit.
is in the middle of nowhere. Oh no!
DM, would you like me to pause while we sort this?
Hang on. I think token vision's on.
In the
Uh,
darkness, there's only Dante.
Yeah,
No.
safety. There you go.
Okay, never mind. You see, I told you that was one.
The
Oh my
dots on
gosh.
him.
Darkness.
lately.
Yeah, I'll be more or
The
less.
walls.
Darkness, nobody can hear you. Honk.
Yeah, just some
Oh.
quick context.
No one can hear you, hunk.
Just some quick context out of character. If you guys missed Conversation Castle, we were gonna use this if we had to fight Dante. But now we're getting some use out of it.
But Dante's too sweet, and the scouts were too stupid.
Scouts are very stupid. Oh my
Yeah, speaking of which, I'm over here with my boys.
It's like, guys,
Alright, let's set up on the...
Nicholas is currently wondering, like, how much can Dante actually lift?
Alright, where are my scouts?
Around you.
Dante
okay.
looking over at Nicholas and seeing him, seeing himself being sized up, and he just kind of winks.
Okay, where's my
set up on the wall
Medken
over here.
group and my Chaldrill group and my Hillside Halfway group?
Yeah, they're all there. The really
Okay.
tiny unit token.
Okay,
that's the
so Medken, Chaldrill, are you okay?
they the translator,
I have tongues.
Oh, you got tongues cast on you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I casted it.
Okay. So yeah, they both like a nod, shrug. They don't seem worse for wear.
All right. Good. I'm not mad. I'm not even disappointed. So, tell me, what did you learn?
No. That you don't walk down the road.
Good. What else?
That the other army wasn't that bad.
Really? Anything else?
They kind of look at each other and just kind of shrug.
Okay, well, that's a good start. Now, that other army you mentioned, Hellside Halfway, you guys made it back, right?
They give you a thumbs up.
What did you learn? Are they anything? Anything at all?
Eh,
Nothing going on there?
not really.
All right. Well, you guys did all right. You guys are all right. So, that army from Ukror, surprise, we're working with them now.
Yep, word's gotten around.
Yeah, turns out Ancient Evil came knocking at our door, blew me up, blew the chieftain up, blew everyone in the room up, and now,
I think I was one of the only people who didn't get blown up.
it would honestly be easier to give you a list of people who didn't blow up. That is absolutely true. So now we gotta kind of fight Orzer. Now, the difference between Orzer and Urkror is that Orzer will not show you mercy if you get caught. So,
They kind of look amongst each other.
So, I start pulling out the ghillie cloaks from the box. I had these fashioned over the next few days. This is camouflage. This should work. DM, where will this work?
This will work in most plains and forests, specifically around Urkror,
Okay.
because of the, landscape and climate and the foliage around.
So not
if you're-
Orzer?
Not inside of a city, no.
Okay, well, obviously we're not going inside of a city. Right, so these will work through most plains and most forests. The coloration is all correct. In fact, I'm going to be using one of these myself. So I go ahead and pass those around. Has the rest of the party shown up?
Yeah, you see the rest of the party, like, walking over a different direction.
Huh, okay. I keep lecturing while they are doing their thing.
Okay. So, Demare and
In a
Kurua.
sudden flurry, Demare. Wait, hang on. Yep. Demare suddenly twirls around, shouting, "Yo ho hoy!" Aims her cannon at the boxes next to Sandra, and then fires off a shot of force.
All right. I'm gonna let you do a perception check before you do that.
Me?
Yup.
Okay.
Oh, is this like
Oh no! Oh no!
Steve? Steve White.
That was a box full of juice for orphans.
Dear God.
Yeah, you catch a little too late. Oh, the box is at the bottom of the stairs where the cannons are. That's cannon supply.
Ah, fuck.
Sandra, make a dex save.
Yeah, sure. You crazy.
I
Fuck,
will
I'm
let you
great at
know
those.
I am exonerated of all crimes the clown told me to. He seems like your leader.
Dex save, I'm great at those. Natural 20.
Oh,
You got that
natural
20, so
20.
you definitely dodged it.
So you, as you see Demare pull out cannon and aim, you reflexively are just like, oh fuck.
But why the fuck were they training next to the fucking explosives?
We didn't think it was going to explode!
Not the brightest man in the tool bakery.
Yeah.
Oh well.
I would like to note this is a force blast, not an explosive blast.
I'm just.
Just saying.
Oh no. We're right next to the oil tanks. Sorry.
As your cannonball blasts through the crates and into the other cannonballs and gunpowder, there is a not the worst size explosion, but an explosion nonetheless. Sandra luckily was dodging before the explosion and manages to not be terribly injured.
Maybe we should have shot out of the town? Yeah.
Oh,
I didn't think we just put our crates out in the open like nothing.
I guess that we wanted to test it, but now thinking
man,
about
clown,
it,
you're real
maybe
crazy.
it's
She says, just looking at the explosion.
Luckily, I do have men, so I could repair it, but still.
Or
Nick, you should probably head over there.
I check.
Yeah.
I check over my guys. I'm like, anyone injured?
I begin mending the crates of.
No, I meant the people.
Yeah, the crates are pretty fucked, you know. So
Get hurt at all. They didn't do a dodge roll or anything, so I assume they were fine.
it's like some of them have been hit by shrapnel. Like most of them weren't standing next to the crates; they were standing, you know, other side of Sandra as she was standing next to the crates. But needless to say, some of them definitely, you know, you see some pieces of wood sticking out of them, so you can go ahead and heal them up.
Heals. Yeah. I guess I'll just use a bunch of healing words or something.
Okay,
Probably a
who's
better way to
worse
do it.
off? And I kind of address everybody.
All of them are pretty alright. It wasn't super deadly since they were far enough away. They just kind of like, you know, shrug. Some of them brushing themselves off.
Okay, all right. I'm gonna go take care of that. And I point at the purple one over there.
Okay, to be honest,
When you say the purple one, which one do you refer to?
There
We
was
wanted
only
to test out
There was
her
literally two of
special
us.
device. Let's just say that. Yeah. You wanted to see the
But I
device
will
in
like to note,
action.
Demare looks not sorry in the least.
Couple of things.
Uh,
Hmm.
Whole bunch of things.
Uh-huh.
What the fuck were you thinking?
I was doing what this one was telling you. She points to Zach.
The
Honk.
boxes next to the cannons. You don't think that maybe that's ammo?
This
I mean,
is pretty volatile ammo, TV.
Ammo,
I thought
black
they'd put it, like,
powder.
I could repair
In a
it.
shed?
I think you could repair it.
You'd think they'd put it in a shed so we wouldn't get it ruined
Honestly,
with the
it's
weather,
just bad
but
swordsmanship.
Yeah, geez, the
yeah,
chief,
we should
It's
probably
yeah,
one that
geez,
y'all
the
have
chieftain
still don't
probably
get.
should have figured that out a while ago.
Chieftain's not the one in charge of that. That's like
You probably.
Actually, yeah, you probably would be in charge. That or the other guy.
Why would I be in charge of the cannons?
no,
I
that
don't
would
know.
have
You
been.
seem like you got like, range things. She gestures vaguely to the bow that Sandra has.
Well, the figuring out of our military structure aside, are you
Ballistics.
okay?
Ballistics, quite unknown to me. Now, speaking of ballistics, and I point at the hand cannon,
Yeah, think of the hand cannon. It's actually gone. The Raider's not holding it.
What did you use to do that?
What are you talking about?
I literally just watched you fire something out of your hand.
I think you must be imagining things. I mean, you were just in
No,
an
I'm
explosion.
not.
It's entirely understandable.
I would like to roll perception to see if I saw something.
Oh, I hope it's a that one.
I mean, you're fairly certain you saw something, but I mean, can you be so certain?
I don't know. May I roll for it?
No,
Why not?
you don't need to.
I already typed it in.
Cool stories.
Zach's just gonna idly rub chin and like, how should our military structure actually work though?
Very carefully.
Zach,
Yes?
how'd she do that?
Maybe we should outside the
Demir
She's
looks curiously
not
over to Zach.
anything in the city.
She is a very
Actually,
skilled
there were-
craftswoman.
I
That's
would
all I
like to
can
roll for
say.
insight.
Everyone else looking at the mayor, it's a bit obvious with, weapon on back, but turned exactly the way to not show it to Sandra.
Why is everyone fucking hiding things from me? You just blew me up. The least you owe me is an explanation.
Do you have any proof I blew you up?
Yes!
Like?
I literally just watched you do it.
Just show it
Oh,
to her,
sorry,
you'll blow
bro.
her mind.
Look, I don't know what you guys are talking
Don't worry, I can show it to her.
Ah.
Out of character, I honestly don't know why you're hiding it.
Demir just kind of shrugs.
Well, I'll leave that in your hands.
Honestly, I should leave it in your hands. I mean, you're the one who said to shoot it, so.
Actually,
Seems
I
like your
want to try
problem.
at some point.
what are you talking?
It's
Demir
not
turns
the
in a
city
weird
this
way.
time.
And I look at Nicholas, I'm like, try what? What
Oh,
are you fuckers
And then
hiding?
just kind of strolls off to go sit over here. Again, she keeps turning in a very slow and particular manner. Almost like she's waiting for something to scuttle across her body to stay hidden from Sandra as she walks away.
She's not staying, right?
I mean, she does seem capable.
Day
if
one,
a
she
little.
blew me up.
She then pulls
Be
out a book.
honest,
In
that
her
was on
defense,
accident.
honk.
The book says Explosives for Dummies, and she is currently reading it.
You could get back to your archery training if you want.
Yeah, your soldiers are healed up. I guess I'll start repairing the crates and explosive ammo and whatnot.
How do you repair explosive ammo with mending?
That's... Huh.
Repair the crates at least, I guess. And then they're probably
I
scorched.
guess I repair the crates, yeah.
It's a crate.
I mean, it saves money,
It's a
I'm gonna
crate.
just go.
and you're saving money. Every bit
See about
counts.
them. See about them clown pamphlets.
Great. So.
Sandra just scoffs and goes back to her scout regiment.
All right. So, what? So is the party, besides Nicholas and Sandra, gonna make their way outside of the walls, or?
Yeah.
Demir notices Zach's moving and gets up.
But
Just continue the aforementioned attempt at clown training, but also maybe play with the toy a bit more.
Her cannon scuttles over and then just calmly latches onto her forearm of her mechanical arm as she follows Zach. So impressed, huh?
You know you could shut up there at some point, right?
Yeah, but I didn't want to do when I could be implicated.
Okay.
not aim at the city. Maybe aim away from the city. Second thought, I don't know how far that cannonball goes.
Wonder if we're gonna incorporate this the clown training somehow.
All right.
Hmm.
So,
Get
right. So Sandra,
Hmm.
what do you focus on with the training of the scout regiment?
Stealth.
Okay. Go ahead and roll.
Clearly that needs work.
All right. Go ahead and first roll a stealth check and then roll a charisma check.
Any additions for the ghillie cloaks?
That'll be factored in.
How?
As in, the DC will be modified. Plus, you're kind of teaching them how to use the ghillie cloaks, so
Okay.
they don't get a ghillie cloak bonus for learning to use the
Alright,
ghillie
there's
cloak.
your stealth check.
Mm-hmm.
And the... what is my charisma? I don't know. It's just a straight roll.
Okay. So yeah, you go ahead and convey the basics of how to use these cloaks, and it doesn't require rocket surgery to use a ghillie cloak. You teach them how to make sure that they're bunched up underneath it and still, good to pop up when needed and make sure they're not spotted, etc. Training goes well.
Nice. Can I see what they're doing?
I mean, are you going to focus on training or are you going to focus on spying on them?
Let's incorporate the spying into the training. Yeah, why not?
Right. So, with that, what is the party doing?
I just hope that wherever Zach leads me.
Yeah, no, Zach's just leading out with whatever clowns that have been able to scrounge up on the way over, just to do a bit more of the actual aiming training and see if they can't teach them something that isn't just a cantrip.
It's worth noting that the mare is skipping along the way as she follows Zach. It jingles and jitters any loose piece of metal, and it is very loud.
So get down the aiming for the actual Eldritch blasts, and then considering that their main leader is Zach, who's a hexblade, could probably do with training them how to dodge a little bit better with some encouragement. This is not an excuse to use the cannon. This is just a reminder that you can dodge gooder.
Yeah.
Can I see the cannon?
Just head out a little bit further.
Depending on how far the party goes, were you planning on doing some cannon practice relatively close to the walls, or were you guys like fucking off for a while?
Just fucking up enough distance just to annoy Sandra. So it's like in the periphery of her hearing, but not like
she can't hear us
directly
clearly.
there.
You make sure to rotate it around the wall a bit further to make it even harder, and get some decent distance. You're walking for a hot second,
Yeah.
but
Alright, Nicholas, you're here to make sure people are fine. Well,
I activate my secret weapon.
Should be fine enough.
Like
Your
that
secret weapon.
My secret
know
weapon is a spyglass.
that explosion was mostly the gunpowder, or was it mostly the cannon?
Oh, it was gunpowder. This thing's pure force.
Oh, okay, that's more agreeable.
Was that your gunpowder we blew up? That you blew up?
Not mine.
No, that was the city's gunpowder. We have a new situation on our hands. I could only hope that whoever was in charge of things for the specifics of cannonry did not just leave it all out there in one box.
Like I said, pretty irresponsible.
Alright, clowns, let's get going. And with this, Zach begins the teaching of training for for a good while of just trying to get them to get down an Eldritch Blast at a point on the wall.
So,
And then after he gets bored, and after they get bored of that, teaching them to dodge cannonballs.
I think I've already asked this question, but what race are you? Forgot her name already.
Gearhead.
Gearhead. Yeah, Gearhead.
I am a tiefling.
A tiefling.
She does a small bow and flicks her tail.
I'm gonna do a history check to see if I know what a tiefling is.
Tieflings are super common. You know what a tiefling is.
Okay.
Yeah, they are the partially devil-blooded individuals. Some say that long ago the tiefling race originated when a pact was made with a fiend from the hells, and it's just kind of spread since then, and it's been so many generations that people have been not making pacts with devils, and their great-great-grandchildren are still tieflings, and they're everywhere. You've seen tieflings on your adventure before.
Okay.
Number of them were actually in Steadfast.
Standard 5e lore applies to tieflings in this setting, but the origins are probably a bit different.
Okay.
Do something.
Party. What
Honk.
you doing?
Yeah, I guess I'm gonna watch the hand cannon go, so shoot something, or... I don't know.
Alright. So, are you having the cannon scuttle off your back?
Nah, it's just on my arm.
Okay.
I just left it behind because I'm lazy.
Cannon has hopped onto the arm again, and are you just gonna, show them your equipment, I guess?
Well, yeah, I can do a whole show off of what I got.
Mm-hmm.
Do you
Alright.
Do you
have
wanna
besides
see?
the hand cannon?
Hello.
Yes. Sure.
Yes. Okay.
As long as it
Sweet.
doesn't involve
She
engaging
pulls out
with the town.
again. Well, it's like a broken crossbow with a bunch of bullshit stapled to it. This right here is my pistol. She twirls it once in her hand.
Pistol?
Yeah,
This was
pistol.
like a tinier hand cannon.
I
It
guess
goes
I've
bang,
heard
and
of
then
a
she pulls the
pistol
trigger
before.
and fires up into the air.
Wow.
So you give it at half
That's like a cannon
power.
times 2.
Small cannon.
Yeah, very small.
Is that one
cannon.
also force, or is it like?
It's bullet.
Bullet.
If
Like-
you want something a bit less conventional, she twirls it back into its holster, and then pulls out another gun. This one looks like weirder. It doesn't have a hole where the bullet will come out.
What?
What? What is
Check
that?
this out. She points it over to a bush, and then fires it off, and then a mote of flame just shoots out from it and then lights the bush on fire.
Can I
Oh.
see
She's then
this?
smugly towards it.
Since you're attempting to spy on it using your spyglass, and you're making a point of it to the detriment of your lesson, but I'll let you make a perception check.
Yeah, sure. I'm great at those. It's a +5. Like I said, I'm great at those. $16.
You're certainly able to see. You're able to see them messing around with some form of device. The specifics you can't really make out from this distance, but you know, it certainly looks like some strange form of projectile weapon.
Motherfucker. They know I would love this. Hey, Yez. And I call over Yez.
Hmm?
Wait, did you
What's
forget?
up?
You gave me a list of their names?
Yeah, they go, huh? What's up?
Oh, no, wait, no, sorry, it's Peck. There is a Yez, but I was thinking of Peck.
Okay.
Why do I put up with these people?
They just shrug at you.
Every time I turn around, I feel like they're hiding something from me.
Is it maybe the way that you act?
I don't know, maybe. I'm not the most
Hey, Steve.
I'm not the most unlikable person, I hope. I'm not a terrible person, am I? And I look at him with a very concerned face.
They just kind of shrug. You haven't been that bad while we talk. I mean, I really don't know much about you. You come in, you instruct us, and it's about it.
I don't know why I'm still here.
They once again shrug.
I'm, like, weirdly invested in them, in all of this, in you guys, and, like, I don't know why.
I mean, maybe you just like helping. Maybe you enjoy the difficult situation.
I don't know.
I don't know you or your life story, so
I'm sorry. I'm thinking dangerous thoughts again. Let's get back to the training.
sounds good. And Demir, you had something to say?
Well, nothing. I decided against it. I was going to ask how close we actually are to Sandra.
Yeah, you can see them far in the distance.
Is it within
but
90 feet?
No,
Okay.
God's no.
Are they within 600 feet?
They're closer to a mile away.
Yeesh.
So,
So, a bit more.
Yeah, no, you are off the map.
Zoo?
Clown training. It goes.
Where's
So-
Dante?
And he fell asleep again.
Everyone's so sleepy this session.
Yeah.
So, was there anything that you guys wanted to do besides training? We could probably just fast forward through it.
Yeah. Besides this,
I would love
I just
that.
really wanted to see what devices she had, but that's about it.
Okay. Well,
Hmm.
depending on where we want to go with this, I mean, probably Shane should be awake for this, but
Yeah, as I was just thinking, it's like, well, Shane seems really tired today, so
I'm gonna
Yeah.
try something here.
I mean, we could just call it a short session and pick up next week, but
skip the training and head on back in past the wall
Mhm.
to get the back end of the. So, what did you do?
slowly gliding across the map.
Whoa.
All right.
How are my clowns? How did they fare?
I don't
And
think you
they're
ever made a training roll, so go ahead and because your spellcasting modifier is your charisma, just go ahead and make a charisma check with your proficiency bonus added in.
I kind of,
It's the skill check, right?
as they're walking
yes.
in, I kind of
Yeah.
glare at
+3. Up.
All right,
Please,
yeah,
my jesters.
They continue the boondoggling and the shooting of eldritch blasts. And yeah, all in all, it certainly goes well. Dante makes sure to train their troops, and over the course of time, you actually see like showing up more or less the majority of Dante's army as
Damn.
they were sent as a forward party. And Sandra, you're definitely able to notice this, as well as Zach, over the course of time, as just, a couple thousand orcs show up and start setting up tents outside of town.
Yeah, Zach would just nudge Dante a bit, like, you should probably take care of that. So forth.
Fingal and Sutha shuffle their way out and head over to the army. Fingal being the commander,
Nice.
certainly. If you have any specific requests that you would like to make.
Only request is, once you're all well and settled, if you could assist in maybe training some of the regulars here, since they're a bit irregular.
Fingal raises an eyebrow,
with your
shrugs,
chieftain's permission.
and yeah, they'll go ahead and you can use the NPC to do some training, and so more or less your entire army gets assembled and called out, and they start doing like a mock battle and all that good stuff. A lot of to put it to perspective, the couple hundred soldiers that you have compared to the couple thousand, I want to say not the entire army helps participate, but everyone can be like one-on-one with someone just because Urkror has that many troops.
Yeah.
So it's easy enough while part of them are setting up their encampment outside of the town. Others are training.
I prefer to work directly with my subordinates.
Yeah.
I am not a soldier. I am a magician.
All of the special units, such as the Warlock unit and the Scout Regiment, you are still working with them directly, but for your generic troops, they are working with the army and under the watch of Fengal.
Yes, I'll continue learning Orcish.
I'm sure you could help with their medics as well.
I occasionally give
Yes,
the
Yeah, I guess I can do both.
I occasionally give the ugly glare at, what's her face?
What's Demir gonna do?
What am I gonna do? I don't know. I'm just chilling, dude.
Like a
Are
villain.
are you okay, Sandra?
No.
Would you like to talk about it? I'm
I almost
sorry I
got-
blew you up.
You see, that's the first. That's just one thing. You didn't say you were sorry when you blew me up.
I mean, I felt like it went unspoken. I didn't. I certainly said I didn't know they were going to explode. So inherently, I'm not having wanted that to have happened. So my apologies for nearly having destroyed you with that.
Do you remember that talk we had about trust?
Mm-hmm.
I've been thinking about going home.
Hmm.
Just dropping all of this and just going home.
Demare, can you show her the thing, please?
The what? She says, with the cannon still clearly on her arm, as she just like fiddles with her arm.
You know what it is. Come on.
No, I'm saying that it's already exposed. It's there.
Show it to her. Come on.
B, I'm saying it's there.
No, I'm saying like show it off to her. Like, come here. Like, we've
Oh,
had
okay. She tilts her arms and then just shows it off.
situation due to myself, Sandra, and we have a new potential member, and
The
I
thing
think you'd like to just-
Scuttles.
play about with this thing, as it were. So,
The thing scuttles up her arm and then
the
she just
best
like lays
way
its
that-
handle in her hand.
an asocial clown can explain. I'm sorry.
What is this?
I don't know.
What do you mean you
Kill
don't
it.
know?
It's a cannon. It walks, apparently. I'm pretty sure they
But
can't
it,
do that,
like-
but that's cool.
It like fits in your hand.
Yeah.
A hand cannon?
Uh-huh.
Is there like a rock nearby?
Yeah, you can find a rock.
Yeah, like a big rock.
How big you looking?
Like a
one-
boulder?
A small
I
boulder
mean,
the size of a large boulder.
Like something like
yeah.
this over
Does
here?
this
yeah,
count?
the boulders outside of the wall. Yeah, those exist there.
Okay, I kind of like walk
Okay.
over there. And I'm gonna take
That's a long walk, Sandra.
It's not that
No,
long.
it's not that far.
And I'm gonna take a shot at one of those. How far away is it from here?
How far is it from there? It would be the distance shown on the map. So-
How do I erase this?
You click on the measurement control you use and hover over the little square and press delete.
Nope, that just made another one.
Hover over it with your mouse and then press the delete button on your keyboard.
Got it.
Yeah, there you go. And then switch over to the actual line button, which is underneath the token controls.
Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
That's about a 40-foot shot. Would my sharpshooter feet work here?
So you picked up the hand cannon?
Yeah.
I'll say because you have never used this thing before, it would be
Wait, what's happening?
apparently
Cannon's aiming it at a rock.
She what?
I'm
She
shooting
apparently
a
took-
rock.
they apparently took the cannon from your hands.
No, I didn't.
You gave it to me.
No, I didn't. I showed it in my hand.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought she was using her bow and just.
Yeah, that's what I was
that's
thinking.
Confused
like,
there,
that's
too.
what it was to the
Yeah, no, showing you the
cannon.
cannon, and they were like, alright, let's go shoot something outside. I didn't pick up on the where you picked up the cannon for that well until the last
That's what I
second.
heard.
No, I said it goes into my
Yeah, that's not what we heard.
Reset. Everybody reset. Back to your places quick. Nobody saw
Alright.
anything.
Behold, cannon.
Gentlemen, behold.
Cannon,
Yeah,
It is small.
but it goes in your hand.
yeah.
It's a hand cannon.
It also walks. It has legs. They are adorable.
And I give it a poke.
It just kind of swishes one of its claws at you.
I want to
Didn't
know
think it was
everything
an
about
animal.
this.
It's a cannon.
My
It fits in
my
your
sketch
hand.
of it never had it be an actual living being.
I need to know everything.
Huh.
It's a cannon. It
Yes.
fits in your hand.
Yes. That is the awesome part about that. I need to know everything about this.
How did you make it?
Oh, with
How
my
did you-
tools.
How did you make it walk, though?
So
Oh.
that's some magic.
I gave it
wizardry.
legs, duh. Unrelated, there's a fucking moth in my room.
Could you make it look like something like she pulls out her fucking notebook and she just you just see all these this sprawling page of sketches of like what a hand cannon might look like in her head.
Oh wow, these look real primitive. She just says looking at them.
I mean, they are sketches of a cannon.
Okay,
not
wait,
so
wait,
much...
well, but what
So
about
what about this one I drew?
what about and I wave Nicholas over.
Actually, you don't know. Can I roll something to like actually judge the quality of them?
Sure. Go ahead and just make an intelligence check with proficiency.
Raw and with prof. Just ability with my proficiency. What the heck is my proficiency? It's like
Top right, underneath your level.
top right. There we are. I'm right. Thank you. Yeet. Damn it.
5 sucks, yeah.
You give it a skim over, and like basic principles are down. You don't really see that many issues. It looks like without some of the more arcane tinkers that you adjusted, they're going to bump into the same issue that a lot of people trying to do that have, where they don't account for the recoil. And it is literally a cannon that is small and would be held in your arm, and depending on the way it would shoot, it would either be blasted out of your hand and probably injure you, break your arm and probably injure you, and or explode. So you
So,
it is
So Damir takes the instructions in front of her, and then she just kind of like looks around them, just like Steve said, and then she looks up and goes, "Ah, I see your problem here. You're trying to use this like a cannon. Yeah, that's gonna break your arm. And well, I mean, I don't think you can make one as cool as mine." She
Okay,
clatters her fingers.
How do we fix it?
Don't use gunpowder.
Don't
Oh, yeah,
use
they didn't really-
gunpowder?
Yeah,
Don't-
this
Don't explode it. That's a bad idea.
Zach
gonna
sort
die.
of attempts to pat the cannon. Like, this sort of fires out force blasts.
Of course it can.
As far as what I could tell, I'm not a mechanic. Just, it definitely looked like force blasts. And I guess you're controlling it magically? Right?
Could be. There could be a little woman inside of it currently controlling all of it, and a little Satan with the levers around.
For all I
Here,
know, that's
you
what
want to
you're
look?
doing.
You want to look inside the hole? I say as I hold out the hole.
That might be extraordinarily dangerous.
Really? She seems very, very, very sarcastic.
Hmm.
There's a moth in my room.
I am not familiar with this
I
at
didn't
all.
even know arcane could be used to make weaponry.
I mean, we could make enchanted weapons, but this is a bit... How many of these can you make? Is it just...
The one.
And I kind of look at Nicholas and I wave my dagger at him. I'm like, really?
I mean, I never knew you could just use arcane. I never even bothered to do that.
Ah, yeah, for the canon idea.
Yeah. I just figured, oh, we're just
It's kind of a simple
making a
solution, honestly.
small cannon. I didn't think of making magic work inside said cannon. Like, I didn't even know in D&D that was even possible.
Is this another one of those steam dweller things?
Probably is.
Now I made it myself.
You made it in like a couple of seconds in front of us. So like,
What?
Uh-huh.
why can't you make more of them?
I can only make the one.
Oh,
I
is
guess
it like
maybe,
Why?
maybe it's
Who
limited to
says
her own
so?
abilities?
I too
said
suffer
so.
from a lack of spell slots.
You or the laws of magic?
Wait, is it possible to pet the cannon?
Me. I don't want to die.
Oh, I'm gonna assume it's powered by her own arcana.
I don't know, why
Probably.
don't you just have more than 2 arms, huh? She says, just like trying to get all accusatory.
I mean,
But you
It'd
didn't
help
think
you
of
with
that.
aiming, I think.
wait.
What if you try getting another arm, Sandra?
Maybe I could use like
Probably aim fast, shoot
Fine.
faster with it.
Well, I mean, like,
ability bolt. Oh,
I don't know how you would use.
my brain is off
Like-
today.
Okay, like if I had 4 arms, how would I
Gotta go.
use 2 bows?
That's,
Aim in 2 different directions with 2
I-
bows.
I guess.
That doesn't make it. Wait.
Or actually, you can see a clear imaginary light bulb light up on top of Damara's head. What you could do is build a bow that actually you hold with just one hand, and then you draw with 2 hands, and then you can aim and shoot twice the amount of arrows.
That's that.
Hmm.
Or I could just do this. I pull the bow out, 2 arrows, and I knock 2 arrows in my hand. Or I could just do this.
Yes, but with my design, you could then do that and have 4 arrows.
I think you could draw a heavier bowstring. Yeah.
Sandra looks at her 4 fingers and like,
I mean, the point I think she's making is you have way more arrows than you normally would with just 2
You
hands.
could double the amount of arrows you can shoot with the design.
Bigger bow.
Like, well, you get here. She pulls out a little notebook she has, and it's a pencil she has, and then scribbles down a quick design. It is literally just 2 bows with a line between them.
Huh.
that's so
Hmm.
impractical.
How is that impractical? You get twice the bows. This is for sieging. You can defeat armies with this design.
Okay, or you could just use a ballista, but
I mean,
Yes, but
ballistas
are you
are
going to
also
use a
big.
hand ballista?
that's a crossbow.
But how many bolts does a crossbow fire?
Well, it depends on the make.
And plus, you can have a higher firing rate.
Good quad wield actually with 4 arms. Quad wield or dual wield crossbows.
No, the Order of Iron has those big rapid fire ones.
Well, double the
But then, with
punishment, I
3
guess.
hands, you can have 3 crossbows that rapid fire. You're just better off with more arms. She looks over to her mechanical arm. I should try to design some things.
How much did that cost?
What, this thing?
Yeah.
Full materials, I don't know, like 100 gold.
Huh.
Ah.
Surprisingly affordable, all things considered.
Most of the work was building it myself. It was like 50 in gears, 50 in plates.
Do you think you could make it quieter?
The Darth Spawner, he can use like his own spells to make a Arcana.
I don't want it to be quieter. Click, 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 click.
Well, say you're out hunting boar. They're
Uh-huh.
gonna hear you coming from 10 miles away.
consider this. Click, click, click. I'm not a hunter. Click, click, click.
Yes, but I am.
Okay, well, good for you.
Hmm.
That's something else, though.
Does this answer your questions about the efficacies of hand cannons, Sandra?
No, I still want one.
Okay, but do you still want one that uses gunpowder?
If they can make swivel guns on ships work, I don't see why we can't make a cannon small enough to fit in a hand.
Well, you
with
can't fit it in a
gunpowder.
hand. You just mostly explode, though.
I mean, like, from what I
There are a lot
care,
of tests
from what
you
I've
even get
divined
that's
from
pretty
problems with the design, the
What if
swivel
we-
gun is fine because it's attached to a ship and not someone's arm.
What if we do this, and I open up my notebook, pick one of my random little drawings, and I draw this little complicated spring system around it that's hooked up to the trigger, and
Huh.
would this work?
Mm.
Give it a little rest now. Maybe with some more minds at it.
I'm curious about how to make some of the other things she showed off. But,
Magic? Smarts?
yeah. Maybe that's what I should do, actually. Just try and see if I can make a gun out of just using magic. I mean, hand cannon. Wow, I said gun. Whoops.
Gun.
There's nothing else. Should
Demir
probably
pulls out her gun. Gun?
Sandra looks at it
tiny
like
cannon.
Sandra looks at it like, oh, what fresh hell is this?
Puny cannon.
Gun.
Bowl cannon.
Puny though.
It shoots
Wait,
a
but-
firebolt. It's the firebolt gun.
Oh, magic. So basically, it's like a magic wand. You just shaped it all weird.
Yeah. You know, she puts it away. Like a gun, she pulls out her actual gun and fires it off into the air.
Okay, that's not gonna come back down, is it?
It's gonna come back down, 100%.
Shit. And I like back up
But
over
I'm far
here.
away from it.
Can I roll for luck to see if it hits me?
Can we roll a D100 to determine what happens here?
It's gonna take a while, isn't it?
Not as long as you think.
Steve,
Hmm.
were you listening?
Yes. What was the question again?
Can we roll a D100 to determine what happens here?
What happens with what?
But the
I
gun
guess-
she just fired into the air?
What? It shoots into the air.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when the bullet comes back down.
Is there a bullet?
Yeah, it was a bullet.
All right.
Gun.
Did you shoot it literally directly straight up?
Yeah.
Oh boy. All right. Could just go ahead and roll a d20 for me.
Gonna just like walk a bit.
Wait, me or her?
The one with the gun.
Okay.
13.
So,
That is the unluckiest number ever. Oh my god.
so
Way worse.
you shoot it up into the air, and the combination of wind and lack of rifling and the fact that it's, it's not a high-powered bullet, it certainly, after a while when it comes back down, it isn't a concernable distance. Yeah, but it's still far enough away where it does not hit anyone.
I just thought of a stupid ass question where it like hits me on the head and it's just like you take damage and it's like, can I get sneak attack on it?
And that's a headshot. She's dead.
Sure,
Make a new
so?
character. Okay, maybe you work on the recklessness.
No, she points her gun over at Sandra willy-nilly.
It's
Kid you not.
yeah, it's that.
Maybe not.
Oh,
Yeah,
come on, it's not even loaded. She points it at the ground and fires. It shoots at the ground. Okay, maybe it's a little loaded. I forgot this is the repeating one.
Yeah, see, this is the kind of recklessness that led to Zach here blowing up Steadfast.
Steadfast
mean-
wasn't blown up. Or if
Right?
it was,
I mean,
they fixed it by
kinda
now.
was.
so
Sandra,
it's not that
you're
big a
kind of the
deal.
one who is reckless, to be honest. After all, you got us both into freaking jail.
I'm more careful now.
Oh, great. This one's a snitch.
No, just brutally honest.
Okay, so a snitch. Cool.
Just,
We have solutions for people like you. It's called rope.
Oh no.
will respectfully ask for you to not do that.
Okay, well, only if she starts flapping her fucking mouth.
You blew me up, believe me, I'm thinking about it.
Now, hang on. I never did such a thing. You have no proof of such things.
Everyone here saw you do it.
I did tell her to do it. That's my fault.
You're kind of actually not even trying to aim at you.
I thought that was just a stack of crates. I thought it would be funny.
Essentially that, yeah.
Do clowns do the
Alas.
funny thing a lot? She gestures to Zach.
The fact alone that you told her to fire off a cannon inside the city walls is frightening.
It's a
Come
force
on,
cannon.
it's not that big of a deal. It's
Do you
just
have
a cannon.
Do you
I
have
mean,
any idea
You
how
know
many
what?
I'd
people
be
live here?
lost.
Alright. Just to prove how not exactly powerful it is, at least not in the scale that you're exaggerating to it, shoot me.
What?
Shoot you? Okay. She pulls the trigger and shoots Zach.
Oh gosh.
Zach ain't exactly dodging.
What?
So I guess go ahead and roll damage.
Trust me. Just looking at Sandra like, please trust me.
13. That's not gonna kill you.
Huzzah,
It
close
hurts,
range display
but
of injury.
It fucking hurts.
Yeah.
You get shot in a 9 vital area, but you know, you are now bleeding profusely.
Holy shit.
Mm.
There's a moth! There's a moth in my room!
Is
You
there
want
a
to take
way-
care of the moth?
It's gone.
Is there
I
a
can't
way to
see
cure
it. It
the
started to
bleeding?
fly.
Oh.
You can.
Nicholas, help me get him to a doctor.
Nicholas, you're the doctor, please.
That's your
Oh, come on,
restoration
it didn't
count?
hurt that much, you big baby.
I can just bind it
Just
myself,
use
it's
standard
fine.
healing.
Just use what healing?
Standard healing.
Standard healing. Okay,
Yeah.
sure.
Sandra is literally reaching for her potion of moderate healing.
Yeah, you don't need it, that's not that bad. This is like the regular
She
type of...
shot you.
It's fine, I'm proving a point.
How
I mean-
deep is the wound?
The fact that there's still a bullet there is the concerning
Oh
part.
no, I said
but-
shoot me with the
Shit.
cannon.
Mhm.
With the force cannon.
Yeah.
Is it the force cannon?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was the force. That's why it's a
Oh.
2d8.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
So
that's the force
there-
cannon.
Yeah, it's more the
The big hole
So
I
it-
shot.
like there is a hole, but it's a lot of surrounding damage. Like may have fractured bone a little bit, and just the general area around it is definitely bruised. But it since it was not a bullet, it certainly there's no bullet to worry about. You don't have to extract
There's no
anything.
bullet.
I would describe it as an explosion without fire.
Nothing's bending the wrong way, right?
Not at all, Demir says as she
Fuck.
curls up her arm in the opposite way it's supposed to.
I don't trust you. What do I see?
What?
Uh,
Are you looking at the injury?
Yes.
Uh,
I'm looking for anything that's bending in the wrong way.
I mean, besides some of the splintering bone.
It's fine. I've shrugged off worse. Besides, I've got some of the
I mean,
supplies.
I
We're
hit
good.
wasn't as bad as the time I took psychic damage.
That's
so-
more of an internal damage.
True.
My point is,
Internal bleeding's not that bad of a thing because
put
blood's
a little
you.
bit of
I mean, I could also just cure wounds.
momentary pause on the hostilities. Yeah. We have the mind flayers to deal with,
Alright, those guys.
and I have a headache still.
The shot probably didn't help that.
It was
you-
worse yesterday, and we were attacked at that time.
Yeah, maybe you put that thing away, and I point at the hand cannon.
Fascist. She says the hand cannon scuttles back up her arm.
So, like,
No.
is that thing just gonna be around now, or?
I guess the bigger question is, what's your opinion on mind flayers? Do you hate them or?
Why would I not?
Oh, okay, that's at least
They
good
do eat
then.
brains. I think.
Probably.
No,
do.
I mean, zombies do that, but they sound like they eat brains too, right? That's what you said, right?
I mean, there's no
Hey,
why
Steve.
not at least put like a larva.
What
into
would my knowledge on
somebody's brain.
zombies eating brains be?
No, I meant mind flayers eating brains, but
Well, they mentioned zombies, and I want to know.
fair.
I mean, depending on the zombies, you do like there are zombies out there that eat flesh, and they don't specifically go for brains, but like yeah, you know, they sometimes eat brains.
What about the zombie I would know?
No, the zombie that you would know. Like, it's not a consistent diet of only brains, but, you know, it's a lot of flesh.
Zombies mostly eat flesh. Brains are just kind of there. Demir is like hence whenever she hears the mention of zombies.
I suppose the brain thing's more of a stereotype, really.
Yeah, kind of.
I was just saying, if
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of like stereotyping humans as only ever eating cows and hunting them down and
I mean,
These people
the
eat
only
cows,
real
too.
difference is
Yeah,
I
but
mean-
only
from what
cows,
I
I
know,
mean.
at least zombies don't
fair.
get offended by that because at that point they're undead.
But anyway, yeah. So would you like to risk? Would you like to risk yourself the chance of being mind flayed? I guess.
I've-
Would you... I'm not sure if you've been well aware,
I mean,
known that
either
we're
if some
going to
other
war
people want to
with-
use mind flayers, just
we're going to
Well-
war with the whole city that's under the control of a mind flayer. You up for that? Yes, no.
of course.
Good.
I'm pretty sure she wants more added to her body count.
You know, so long as there's gold and glory in for it.
I'm pretty sure we could pillage their coffers or something to some degree for that.
Pillaging works for me.
The coffers, not the.
Pillaging
We'll see what we
works
get with there.
for me.
Head back to the place and see about getting ready to go visit Cassell.
How do we
Cassell.
want to deal with
Mhm.
them, by the way?
Yep.
Zach?
Nope.
And with that, Zach is ready to head
So-
back.
So, like, how do we want to deal with them, by the way?
With who?
Cassell.
Aren't
Get
you
there
gonna-
fast. Begin diplomacy.
Yeah, but... I feel like if
Probably.
we walk up there with our entire army, that's gonna raise a few red flags.
Well, to be sure, the mind flayers are probably going to be already trying to turn them against us, just as a rule,
That's
right?
true.
Yeah. We should have left today.
Aren't you
It
gonna
seemed
send
like you
out
needed some time
scouts to do it?
You needed some time with your scouts, and I just figured we might as well combine the armies now.
I have an idea.
You have an idea?
Yeah. Maybe we can get someone moving towards Coachelle today.
Do you want to send your scouts out,
Yeah.
or do you want to send all the scouts out?
Sella,
Yeah.
Sellsword Sella, she's still standing there. She looks at you and is just like, apologies for the stupid question. Wasn't the entire reason of you and the other army fighting because you are the armies of the Orc lands?
Yes.
And what's the problem with just walking up?
We don't want to scare them.
There are mind flayers around. I think that tact can be thrown under the bridge a little bit.
Maybe we
Yes,
keep the
that's
army at a distance
Just
until
count them, yeah.
until they're convinced.
She shrugs
Oh,
and
shit.
shakes
That
her
probably
head.
will work.
Should probably set up a committee for.
Again, who knows with their
bleeding out.
mind flare experience?
Whole ass committee.
Oh, hey,
Oh, hi,
hi.
Shay, you're back. You're alive again.
Hi.
I have been this.
Hello.
Wait, what? How much of this conversation did you get?
And
He's cutting out.
And he's asleep again, ladies and gentlemen.
I think he talked in his sleep.
I don't know. Let's putting it out there. We should probably make a committee to comb through our soldiers, see who's uncharacteristically pliable and/or encountered some kind of blood change.
I'm gonna
more
call
more the
over
more former.
Irvan, Ventry, and Yez.
You call them over, and Yes kind of raises an eyebrow.
Okay.
Can I help you, boss?
Okay, so bit of a lower stakes mission, but I'd kind of like to get word to the capital as soon as we can. So I need you to deliver a message to whoever's in charge over there.
Okay.
Zach, I'm gonna have you write that. Dante, if you want
Okay.
to co-write that.
Wrote it in my brain.
You okay?
Maybe.
I'll take it.
So yeah, you'll be writing a letter, placing the seal of Booze Rideau on the letter, and sending off your 3 scout members.
Yep.
Okay. So go ahead and we'll take care of that between sessions. But
Yeah.
is there anything else we want to do at the moment?
I don't got a roll for that.
Not really. No, I'm beat for the session.
You're just sending scouts to relay a message, so
Oh, thank
not
God.
really. They like there is little to no danger, basically, as long as they don't get attacked by monsters on the road, which they can handle themselves.
Given how they handled the last 3 missions,
I mean, that was a far trek, to be honest.
I mean, this is still a far trek,
this
but
is
they're
about the
not
same
trying to sneak.
distance.
Yeah.
Actually,
think
yeah,
the
no,
only
this is
thing
a
I-
little bit further.
The only thing I'm interested in potentially brainstorming or creating is just some kind of committee of trusted peoples to start weeding through.
Yeah, that
Our
can be done off
population.
screen.
Yeah, that's about it. Like in terms of like immediate plans, let's go to Cassell once the scouts are done.
No, they're just
So-
gonna go ahead of us.
Yeah. Let's start heading out after once we're ready.
They'll meet you on the way back. So
Yep.
basically, for next session, lay out your groundwork, and I'll plan around your plans. And then we should be good. Once again, this is a bit of a shorter session, but it also was a really rough week for me. So
Yeah.
having
you and
a
everyone else apparently.
Yeah, it's been a sleepy session for a lot of us,
Don't
myself
doubt,
included.
and forgot to even bring up the fact we were having I've almost had a food fight last session at the end of it.
We almost closed halfway through. Yep.
There are certain cultures in this world that will get in your face for wasting food. Just remember that.
I was literally joking
Don't
around.
care.
hell yeah.
Just remember that.
Hunter, you are aware that
I'm aware of what?
you are aware I was not actually gonna throw anything, right? I was literally doing it as a joke.
You've thrown a pie at me before.
Yes, but that was different. I'm trying to make you eat a pie.
No,
I'm not gonna make you eat a bread.
That was different.
But it was.
You threw food at me.
Still, I just want you to have a piece of pie. Why would I want you to have a piece of bread? You've had bread. I don't care about bread.
You never noticed, man.
Hong.
Alright, so are we calling this session?
Yep.
Please.
Yes.
Fine. I won't like it. But yeah, that's your 2-hour episode of Dungeons and Dorkheads, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just gonna throw it all into one episode. Making a note about that in the editor notes and everything. Thank you all so much for watching. Tune in this weekend for Conversation Castle. We'll see you there.